as you're taking a seat, I invite you to move in from the aisle. We go from 2 to 1 service. It gets a little crowded, so we're making room, and the choir loft is starting to fill up. If you can't hit a note but have always wanted to sit up there, today is your chance. Welcome to Sunday morning at First Unitarian Church of Rochester. Here we gather, surrounded by faces and stories of a people who come together again and again to celebrate life, to find the holiness that surrounds us always, and to be reminded of our deepest values. I'm the Reverend Shari Halliday-Quan. I'm one of the ministers that serves this congregation, and leading worship today is Reverend A.J. Van Tine, Amanda Graff, our Director of Religious Education. We've got Pablo, and our ukulele orchestra. I hadn't turned around and realized how many of them there were until just that moment. Today, together, we celebrate the greater good.
You can feel it, can't you? The pull of the busyness, the events, the noise. Winter solstice is just around the corner, and it's just 10 days before Christmas, before the start of Hanukkah.
What's that drum beat again? How many presents did they get our kids last year? Does he even like sweaters? Is this what this is all about?
There was this, a gathering, a chance to breathe, to sit, to sing.
To listen deeply, if you will, to our collective yearning for a better world.
To pay attention. I think my microphone's working. To pay attention to what really matters.
If you've come here today because you're certain that together we could do meaningful things, if only we'd try and stay organized.
If you've come here today because you need a reminder to be still and to know that there are forces at work all around us all the time that include love, beauty, and grace.
And if you've come here today because you're absolutely full of the holiday spirit and you want to share that with even more people for the greater good,
you are in the right place.
You are in the right place.
You are in the right place.
Come, let us worship together. I'm going to invite you to light a chalice wherever you are if you're joining us online. And here in the sanctuary, we'll join in our unison words, and some of our young people will light our chalice. Thank you, Lee. Life is a gift for which we are grateful. We gather in community and the mysteries of this great gift. Thought we were going into our beatboxing chalice lighting.
All right, please rise in body or spirit one more time as we together sing, "'Tis a Gift to Be Simple." All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. 'Tis a gift to be simple, 'tis a gift to be free, 'tis a gift to come down where we ought to be. And when we find ourselves in the place just right, 'twill be in the valley of love and delight. When true simplicity is gained, to bow and to bend we shan't be ashamed. To turn will be our delight, till by turning we come round right. 'Tis a gift to be simple, 'tis a gift to be free, 'tis a gift to come down where we ought to be. And when we find ourselves in the place just right, 'twill be in the valley of love and delight. When true simplicity is gained, to bow and to bend, we shan't be ashamed. To turn will be our delight, till by turning, we come round right.
Hi. Hi, I'm Donald. I use any and all pronouns. And earlier this year, I got COVID. I was stuck in bed all day and couldn't do anything other than binge Gilmore Girls. One morning, I got a text from my friend saying, "Hey, my mom's not feeling too good, and you guys have similar tastes in food, so what are some comfort foods that you like?" Without thinking about it, I responded, "Mac and cheese, Toll House cookies, and spicy chips." A few hours later, one of my other friends shows up at the door with a box filled with cough drops, NyQuil, mac and cheese, Toll House cookies, and spicy chips. And isn't that why we come to church? To find the connection of community care when we feel isolated. I now invite you to turn to your neighbor and tell them about a time when you received a gift.
What about you?
All. It is a gift to hear all the joy and all the sharing. All right. Thank you very much.
like to invite the children to come down for the time for all ages. You can find a spot in this circle that's around our altar in the middle. I know it's a little different than usual, but come on down and find a comfy spot to sit. Good morning. I'm so happy to see you all. Keep coming down. Find a spot. So I haven't seen you in a few weeks because I was away and then I was sick, and it's just so lovely to see your faces this morning. So you can see I've brought something with me today, a suitcase. That's correct. So I bet that each of you has probably used a suitcase at some point, right? Like to go on a trip, maybe on vacation, maybe you needed to go visit. Okay, so Ingrid has used a suitcase 4 times. 4 times. And I was thinking, you could go on a car trip with a suitcase, you could go on vacation, you might go visit a sick relative. I don't know, 4's a mystery, but that it could have been a great outing, I am imagining, with Bingrid involved. Ingrid, sometimes Bingrid. So I brought a suitcase today, partly because this is the Greater Good service. And do you remember a few weeks back in the end of October, do you remember voting for our Greater Good organizations? Yeah, some people do, some people were not here. But one thing that I think is so cool about this congregation is that when we do Greater Good, when we choose organizations to support as a congregation, we ask our children to weigh in with their voices. And so they helped us select 2 organizations. And one of the organizations is called the Rochester Refugee Resettlement Service, one of our organizations that we are supporting. And I have been thinking about this organization and about refugees. So does anybody know what is a refugee? Any ideas? Yeah. Someone who had to flee from their home. I'm going to project for the voices here. Someone who had to flee from their home. So that's right. A refugee is someone who has to leave their home to find a new home because their old home is not a safe place for them to be anymore. So it could be because maybe there is a war in their home country, that it's not safe for them to live there anymore. It could be that there was a natural disaster, like a flood or a hurricane. So they can't live in their home anymore and they have to find a new one. And so thinking about refugees, I've been thinking about my great-grandma. We called her Gigi, and she came from Eastern Europe, or maybe it was Russia, or maybe it was Ukraine. We're not 100% sure where her small Jewish village, called a shtetl, was exactly. But we know that she came here when she was a little girl with her family as a refugee because her village was no longer a safe place for her to live. And I imagine that when she left, I know that she had a long, difficult journey ahead of her. It wasn't going to be easy. They had to travel across Europe, and then they had to take a long boat trip to the United States, and this was well over 100 years ago. So I imagine she she brought one bag with her, maybe. She might have had one little bag that she got to bring. And she would have thought long and hard about what she was going to put in that bag. Because if you were leaving your home and you weren't sure when you were going to go back, and you only had a little bag to bring with you, do you think you would just bring like extra t-shirts and a pair of uncomfortable shoes and extra books, kind of like I pack when I go on vacation? No, you would not. you would be so, so careful. You would only bring the things that are the very most important to you. So if you think about that, you just have one bag. What might you bring? Any ideas what you might bring? Can you use a loud voice back there? What might you bring? A couple of the best books you have. Yeah. Ade.
Like
A picture of your mom. Definitely. Some clothes to stay warm. It was going to be a long journey. I'm sure that she brought a very warm sweater. That boat trip across the Atlantic Ocean, I'm sure, was very, very chilly. Yeah. Applesauce. Something to sustain you, right? Right? Something to sustain you and keep you, yeah. Leah has a favorite TV show that she would really be sad to leave behind. So, yeah, pictures of people that you might be leaving behind, friends or family that you would miss, something to sustain you, a warm sweater. These are the kind of things I imagine that my grandma Gigi put in her small bag that she brought. We have a couple more ideas. Toys, maybe a toy. Maybe, you're leaving everything behind. If you're a child, something to play with might be very important if you had room to bring your favorite doll or a toy with you. Yes, things to stay warm like a sleeping bag. One more and then we'll move on, yeah. Medicine. Medicine would be very important, especially if you were a person who knew you needed a certain kind of medicine. So I think about my grandma Gigi and that really brave, brave trip that she made with her family to come here to the United States as a refugee from Eastern Europe, to build a home so that my grandpa Lou could be born, so that my dad could be born, so that I could be born, so that I could come make a home here with you in Rochester. I'm really grateful that she made that trip. That was, I'm sure, difficult and challenging. So, may this story of bravery and gifts and gratitude unfold in your hearts until we meet again. And today we're going to have our spiritual survivor middle school youth stay with us for the worship service and our high school youth, but we will sing the children out to the last class of this calendar year.
We bless you on your journey through, from sheltering arms to the wide sky blue, in your joyful jumps, in your sad times too. You bless us by being you.
So now we invite you into a time of prayer and meditation. We're going to start our time together with some movement, and then we'll end in seated silence together. So to start, I want to invite you to stand as you're willing and able. We're going to hold our hands out in front of us, ready to receive. We'll take a deep breath in together. And as you exhale, you can bring your hands to your heart, imagining receiving the gift of our gathered community this morning. We'll reach out again to receive, and this time we'll look across the circle. You might catch someone's eye, give a smile, or a nod, and bring our hands back over our hearts once again. another inhale, deep inhale, we'll reach out, but this time it's going to be a big, broad reach and circling around. Careful of the friends that are near you, to bring this whole community in with you, into your heart for this hour together, for this life we live together. I invite you, as you take another deep breath in, to have a seat. You might keep your hands over your heart or let them rest gently in your lap. Feel your feet on the floor. These words are from the poet Rumi. Be grateful for your life, every detail of it, and your face will come to shine like a sun. And everyone who sees it will be glad and peaceful. Persist in gratitude, and you will slowly become one with the sun of love, and love will shine through you. It's all healing joy. The path of gratitude is not for the faint of heart. It's a path of tender heroes of tenderness who, whatever happens, keep burning on the altar of their hearts the flame of adoration. We'll remain in silence for a few more moments together.
Please join in singing the musical meditation, From You I Receive. From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live.
Greater Good, as you may have picked up on by now, is a holiday about generosity and gifts. It's about being intentional about our giving in a way that is oriented not towards the shiny latest thing or towards individual needs or individual wants, I should say, but is oriented, making sure that our giving is oriented towards humanity, towards community, towards each other. And so as part of our celebrating this morning, I'm going to invite a few church members to share their stories of the greatest gift they have ever received, or perhaps a great gift that they have received. And after each reflection, there will be three. I invite us to sing together another round of From You I Receive. So let's sing it through one more time, and then we'll have our first reflection.
From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live.
My name is Lynn Kelley, and I use she, her pronouns. I am very excited about the organizations that the children of our congregation chose to support for our Greater Good project this year. Back in 2021, one of the organizations that we chose to support was Keeping Our Promise. After listening to Ellen Smith telling about Keeping Our Promise, I was inspired to volunteer. I was told about an Afghani family who left their home in August of 2021 when the United States left Afghanistan and the Taliban took over. The father, Ahmad, and uncle, Tawfiq, both worked at the United States Embassy in Kabul, Afghanistan. It wasn't safe for them to stay in Afghanistan. So Tawfiq, Ahmad's wife Pari, and their 4 little girls all came to America. Keeping Our Promise rented a house for them in downtown Rochester and helped them get furniture, clothes, and food. The 2 oldest girls, Zara and Yaish, started 3rd grade and kindergarten at the Children's School number 15 near Cobb's Hill. Their mom, Pari, she stayed home with the 3-year-old Masa and baby Sophia, who was only 4 days old when they left Afghanistan. Pari spoke some English but wanted to learn more words and improve her skills to become better at speaking, reading, and writing in English. At home in Afghanistan, her family spoke Dari, and not too many Americans can speak Dari. I never taught English to grown-ups before, but I taught primary school for 40 years, so I thought I could help Pari improve her English. I started visiting her 2 afternoons a week while Ahmed and Tawfiq were taking classes to learn how to be auto mechanics and working the evening shift to make money. Pari worked very hard to improve her English, but I had trouble teaching her because I was very distracted by baby Sophia and little Masa. It was hard for me to focus when I had an adorable baby in my arms and a cute little 3-year-old who wanted to play with me. My sister told me about the New Americans librarian at the Maplewood Library on Dewey Avenue who gave free English lessons. Pari and I were so excited because the library was close enough for us to walk to. As soon as Zara and Niaish got home from school, we all bundled up and walked to the library together. Pari took English lessons while I helped Zara, Niaish, and Masa get their own library cards, use the computers in the library, and pick out books. And then we walked back home singing Jingle Bells. Pari found out that she could take English lessons online, so she was able to take lessons at home while I held baby Sophia and played with Masa, Niaish, and Zara. I don't have grandchildren of my own, and the girls' only relatives in Rochester were their parents and uncle, so they told me that I could be their grandma here. Whenever I visit, baby Sophia runs to me and throws herself into my arms. Sophia and her family make me feel so welcome and happy. I love helping the older girls with their homework and reading with them. There's no greater joy than snuggling on the couch with my 4 little granddaughters and a good book. Sometimes when it's time to leave, Sophia hides my shoes or my keys, so I will stay a little bit longer. It has been very fulfilling seeing my Afghani family flourish here in Rochester. What I didn't realize when I first met them is how much goodness and light they would bring into my life. I love being a local mom to Ahmed and Pari and grandma to all 4 of my wonderful granddaughters. We love each other so much. Becoming part of their family has been one of the greatest gifts of my life.
From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live.
Hello, I'm Necole Almond. I use she, her pronouns. My husband is an ultimate gift giver. He agonizes over making sure the gift fits the person each year, each holiday. He doesn't go in for size or cost. He's in it for the match and meaning. I am a theater nerd. I go to Rochester, Buffalo, New York City. I'm even planning a trip to Cleveland next fall, all for theater. My husband, not so much, but he understands my passion. Last year, he gave me a gift, and as I was opening it, he told me that it wasn't my final gift, that there was another version coming. Puzzled, I opened the box, and it was a pair of antique opera glasses. I loved them immediately. A couple of weeks later, he presented me with a second pair of antique opera glasses that he thought were more fitting to me. I adore both pair, and they came in pretty handy at a recent Taylor Swift concert. But the gift that he spent time on and that has meant the most to me was presented about 10 years ago. One of the early Christmases that we were together, he gifted me an antique violin, just over 100 years old at the time. This gift was based on my one time mentioning that I had played violin as a child and high schooler and would like to take it up again sometime. He said to me with the biggest grin I had ever seen, "Now you can start playing again." We restrung the violin and rehaired the bow, and now it sits very nicely on top of a bookcase in my house. Now, the gift wasn't actually the violin. It was the words he said. They represented the belief he had in any dream I had at the time or would have in the future, and the hope that I still have that I can one day pick up my dream of playing violin again, or hope in any dream I have in the meantime. That gift is renewed almost every time I come home from work or church with a scheme or brainstorm, when he enthusiastically helps me build on the brainstorm and bring most of my ideas to fruition in one shape or another.
From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live.
My name is Soleil. I use she, they pronouns. In March of 2024, I had knee surgery. As a gift, I got a watercolor kit and some inspirational cards from my grandma in California. She herself is an artist, and she loves that I'm learning to express myself through my art as well. She helped me sell my first piece and is always ready to support me no matter what. She's great. She is a very sarcastic person, which in my opinion is one of the best senses of humor. She loves me endlessly and I love her. She even wrote in an oracle deck she gave me that we were soulmates. Thank you, Grandma Quayle, for the gift of support and love.
From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we
Together we share, and from this we live. You know, whenever we here at church use the word we, as I just did multiple times, we do well to think about who we mean by that. How broad and inclusive is our we each time that we use it? Together we share, and from this we live. It's true in the sense of a small nuclear family living together, sharing things like a home, a car, food, and most of their time. It's true in the sense of a community like our congregation that has a shared worship life and gathers its resources to live out a shared mission together. And it's true in the biggest possible sense that all our living on this planet and in our city and our country is possible because we give to and receive from everything that came before us and everything that is larger than us. The greater good is an opportunity to make sure that our holiday spending, whether it's a lot or a little, includes giving not just gifts to those that we live with, those we love, those in our immediate community, but also to the wider community of humanity, to, well, the greater good. And so now I would like to invite Josh, a youth member of our Greater Good team, to introduce the two social justice-oriented organizations that were selected by our children and youth, and that will be the recipients of this year's Greater Good funds. And I believe we have some representatives from the organization, so when your organization is named, I would invite you to rise and be welcomed and recognized.
Hello, I'm Joshua and I use he, him pronouns. This year's project partners are Rochester Refugee Resettlement Services and San Jose Partners. Rochester Refugee Resettlement Services collaborates to provide services and opportunities to ensure assimilation of refugees into our society by providing assistance as they strive to be self-sustaining neighbors while still maintaining their own cultural heritage. Donations will fund the provision of small, short-term loans to refugees resettled in the Rochester area to cover expenses while under working restrictions related to temporary protective status. Our second partner, San Jose Partners, works with the people of San Jose, Honduras, and surrounding communities to address their 5 self-identified leading causes of ill health: water, nutrition, education, healthcare, and poverty. Donations will fund the installation of solar panels to provide people living in remote mountain huts in Honduras with power for lights at night and to charge cell phones.
Thank you, Joshua. Is Doug here from San Jose Partners and anyone else who's with him? Thank you. Welcome. And are there representatives from Rochester Refugee Resettlement Services? Welcome. Thank you for being with us. And if folks would like to learn more about these organizations, you can check out the Greater Good table. Our Greater Good team will be happy to talk to you more about that in the time between the end of our service and our next activities. So the financial generosity of this community can create a lasting impact in the lives of those served by these organizations. And you can, we're about to take the offering, the collection. If you have money now, you can donate it in our ritual here. But if you're inspired to give later, you can make a donation through the end of the holiday season, through the new year. Again, check us out online or visit the Greater Good team at their table. And regardless of the amount that any one of us donates, we all bring gifts to offer in the service of life. As we've already heard in this service, nothing quite transforms things like the love, care, and attention from another human being. Amen? Amen. The greatest gift we can receive or give, ultimately, is each other. So as we collect our offering for the Greater Good Project, you are invited to bring your offerings in the red envelopes provided and bring them up to the baskets on our altar. Please also come forward to receive a blessing from myself, Reverend Shari, or Amanda. Our offering will now be given and humbly received as we offer blessing.
blessings to this world. May you know abundance, and may you love deeply. This abundance, these gifts of this community go out into the world to do the work and witness of Unitarian Universalism. May the gifts that we are given and the gifts that we give here be a blessing unto this world. Amen. I invite you to rise in body or in spirit and join me in singing our closing hymn, The Fire of Commitment. So here's where we hit the culture clash of the first service and the second service people. The first service people know I talk for a long time at this point. So I invite you to take a seat if you'd like. But when I say take a seat, I actually mean more than one thing right now. I do mean, so here's now where the second service people know what I'm getting at. We're gonna have to move some chairs in a little bit. So if you didn't already get the picture after our gathering, our worship this morning, we are not a congregation that believes that there is 1 hour carved out to do good and be good in a week. No. We are people with a purpose. And so after our service today, if you are new or newish here and you want to learn more about Unitarian Universalism, you're going to follow Reverend AJ out that door for our Inquirers series. But as for the rest of you, I hope you will stick around. Our board is hosting a congregational meeting to talk about how to awaken the spirit of justice in our own spiritual lives. What does social justice look like for us as a congregation? So the Board of Trustees really put the trust in trustees this time around, and they want to feed you all. So our task, if we're not following Reverend AJ to Inquirers, is to, if you feel so inclined, grab a chair, put the armchairs with like armchairs, the non-armchairs with non-armchairs, and we're going to move them all to the sides of the wall. and then you're gonna follow me out this door and grab some food, and then come right back into this room for our congregational meeting. I think that's it. That's probably more than enough announcements. We're gonna stack the chairs if we can, but really it's just toward the walls. That's the big thing. We wanna clear it out because we need some tables, not only to eat food, but also to sit and have conversation, to connect with one another, because that's how we do things around here, in relationship.
Please join me in our unison words to extinguish our chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth,
the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
For the precious gifts we have received that can be held in our hands and seen with our eyes.
For the sacred gifts we have received that we hold in our hearts and in our memories.
For this great gift of community, lives shared, burdens lightened, and joys enhanced.
May you leave here this morning reminded of the gift that is your life, knowing that you yourself are a gift to be shared with the world.
May it be so. Go in peace.